My beloved child, stop scrolling for a moment, because what has found you today is not ordinary. Something has been held in silence, something connected directly to your heart, your future, and the person whose presence still moves through your thoughts when the world becomes quiet. You did not arrive here by accident. You were guided here because a secret has been growing behind the scenes, and the one carrying it can no longer pretend that it does not affect you. Pause here. Do not rush away. There is a reason your spirit became still when you heard these words. There is a reason a name, a face, or a memory may already be rising within you. Heaven is not bringing this message to frighten you. Heaven is bringing it to prepare you, because what has been hidden is moving closer to the light, and when it is revealed, you will understand why the distance, the silence, and the strange emotional shifts have felt so difficult to explain. Your soulmate has been holding something inside. Not a passing thought. Not a small concern. Not a secret that can remain buried forever. This secret affects you directly. It has shaped the way they have spoken to you. It has influenced the moments when they wanted to come closer but suddenly stepped back. It has been present in the unanswered questions, the unfinished conversations, and the strange pauses where their heart wanted to tell you everything, but fear interrupted the truth before it could escape. Stay with this message, because the first thing heaven wants you to know is that their silence has not meant indifference. Their silence has been carrying weight. There have been moments when you wondered whether they had forgotten you, whether your connection mattered as deeply to them as it mattered to you, or whether you had imagined the intensity between you. You questioned yourself because their actions did not always match the energy you felt. You sensed something powerful beneath the surface, yet you could not understand why they kept hiding behind distance, confusion, or carefully chosen words. You were not imagining it. There is something they have not told you. And what makes this secret so powerful is that it does not belong only to their private world. It touches your life. It influences your path. It may even explain why certain doors around you have been opening and closing in ways that seemed unrelated to love. Listen closely, because this is where the mystery begins to deepen. Your soulmate discovered something that changed the way they see the bond between you. It did not happen in one dramatic moment. At first, it came through small signs. A conversation they overheard. A truth shared by someone they trusted. A memory that returned with unusual force. A realization that appeared in the middle of an ordinary day and refused to leave. They tried to dismiss it. They told themselves they were overthinking. They attempted to continue as though nothing had changed. But something had changed. The secret became impossible to ignore because it began connecting pieces they had kept separate for a long time. Suddenly, your presence in their life no longer felt random. Your timing no longer seemed accidental. The emotions they had tried to control began to feel like part of a larger story. And this frightened them, not because the connection was false, but because it felt too real. Do not skip this part, because what happened next reveals why they have been acting differently. The person you are connected to began reviewing the past. They started remembering conversations with you that they had once treated casually. They remembered the way you looked at them when you sensed they were hiding pain. They remembered words you spoke that later proved true. They remembered moments when you pulled away at exactly the time they needed to face themselves. They began to realize that you had seen parts of them they had hidden from nearly everyone. That realization opened something inside them. But it also awakened fear. They asked themselves, how much does this person truly know about me? They wondered whether you could already sense the secret. They became more careful because they feared that one wrong sentence might reveal everything before they were ready. Sometimes they avoided you not because they did not want your presence, but because your presence made hiding difficult. Your energy brought their truth too close to the surface. You have felt this. You have noticed the moments when they became distant after emotional closeness. You have seen how warmth was sometimes followed by silence. You may have experienced a beautiful exchange, only to feel them withdraw when the connection became undeniable. That pattern was not meaningless. It was the secret pressing against the walls they built around it. My child, the person you love has been fighting a private battle between honesty and fear. One side of them wants to come forward, look directly into your eyes, and finally tell you what has been happening. Another side is terrified that the truth will change everything. And they are right. The truth will change everything. But not necessarily in the way they fear. They worry you may feel betrayed because they waited too long. They worry you may question why they allowed you to live without information that concerned you. They worry you may see their silence as manipulation, even though much of it came from confusion, shame, and the desire to protect you until they understood the situation themselves. Heaven sees the full picture. Heaven has watched them lose sleep over this. They have imagined dozens of ways to tell you. They have started conversations in their mind and abandoned them before speaking. They have written messages and erased them. They have opened your name, stared at it, and closed the screen because their courage disappeared. But the pressure is increasing. The secret has entered a new stage. Something recently happened that made silence more difficult than before. Someone else may now know. A family member, a close friend, or a trusted person has become aware that your soulmate is carrying something connected to you. This person has asked questions. They have noticed the emotional changes. They have seen your soulmate become distracted whenever your name is mentioned or whenever something reminds them of you. At first, your soulmate denied it. They tried to minimize the connection. They said it was complicated. They claimed they were handling it. But the person listening could see through them. And then a question was asked that left them unable to answer. The question was simple, but it reached the center of everything. What happens if they find out from someone else? That question has followed your soulmate ever since. Stay until the end, because this is where the secret begins to move from hidden emotion into real-world consequence. Your soulmate knows that time is changing the situation. They know that keeping silent may soon cause more damage than speaking. They know that the longer they wait, the more difficult it becomes to explain why they did not trust you with the truth. But understand this clearly, what they are hiding is not simply that they care about you. That would not create this level of fear. The secret is connected to a choice. A decision was made, or is about to be made, and your soulmate knows that this decision will influence you directly. They may have agreed to something before understanding what it would mean for your connection. They may have allowed family pressure, responsibility, distance, work, or an old commitment to guide them into a situation they now regret. They may have said yes when their heart was saying no. They may have remained silent while others created plans around their life, never expecting that you would become the person who made them question everything. Now they are caught between the life others expect and the truth their soul recognizes. You are part of that truth. This is why your name has become difficult for them to hear casually. This is why they may become emotional when someone speaks about love, marriage, destiny, home, or future plans. This is why they sometimes appear present physically but distant emotionally. Their mind is trying to solve a problem their heart has already answered. You may be asking, why did they not tell me sooner? Because they were afraid you would walk away before they could explain. They believed silence would buy them time. Instead, silence created distance. They thought they could fix everything privately and then come to you with a perfect answer. They wanted to avoid bringing confusion into your life. They wanted to appear certain, strong, and in control. But love does not wait for perfect conditions. Truth does not remain quiet forever. And the connection between you has continued to expose what they wanted to manage alone. My child, you have been changing too. While they have been holding this secret, heaven has been strengthening your discernment. You have become less willing to accept half-truths. You have started recognizing when words and energy do not match. You have begun valuing your peace more than temporary reassurance. This growth is important. The truth will require you to listen with compassion, but it will also require you to remember your worth. You are not being prepared to accept anything without question. You are being prepared to respond from wisdom instead of shock. There is a difference. Heaven does not want you to hear the secret and immediately abandon your boundaries. Heaven wants you to understand what has been happening so that when the moment comes, you are not emotionally controlled by surprise. The one connected to you is becoming aware that you are no longer standing in the same emotional place where they left you. They sense your strength. They can feel that you are pulling your energy back from uncertainty. This has frightened them more than they admit. They know that silence may cost them access to your heart. They know you will not wait forever for someone who refuses to speak honestly. And this realization has started something powerful. They are preparing. Not perfectly. Not without fear. But they are preparing. They have begun collecting the courage to tell you. They have been rehearsing the truth. They have been deciding what part to reveal first. But the secret is complicated because one truth leads to another. What began as a hidden decision is connected to a deeper confession. And that confession is connected to feelings they have never fully expressed. This is why the conversation cannot be casual. Once they begin, they know they may have to tell you everything. They may have to admit how long they have cared. They may have to confess that they watched from a distance. They may have to reveal that certain choices were made because they believed they had already lost you. They may have to explain that while you thought they were moving on, they were actually trying to escape emotions they could not control. And there is more. Something huge is waiting for you deeper in this message. Your soulmate may have received information about you that changed their plans. This information may have come through a mutual connection, an unexpected conversation, or something they noticed without your knowledge. They learned that you had been hurt more deeply than they realized. They discovered that their silence had affected you. Or they understood that you were closer to leaving the connection behind than they had imagined. That realization broke through their denial. Until then, they assumed there would always be more time. They believed the bond would remain waiting. They believed you would somehow understand without being told. But now they see that love cannot survive forever in unspoken assumptions. They know they must act. The secret is reaching its deadline. You may notice signs before the full truth arrives. A message that feels different. A sudden question. An unexpected appearance. Someone close to them reaching out. A conversation beginning with ordinary words but carrying unusual emotion. Pay attention, but do not chase. This is important. Do not attempt to force the secret out of them before they are ready to take responsibility for it. A confession pulled out through pressure is not the same as truth offered through courage. Your role is not to rescue them from the consequences of silence. Your role is to remain grounded enough to recognize sincerity when it appears. Heaven is asking you to hold both compassion and discernment. You can understand their fear without excusing dishonesty. You can hear their pain without abandoning your own. You can love someone and still require clarity. This secret affects you directly because it involves the future they imagined, the decision they made, and the place you hold in their heart. But it also affects you because your response may determine what happens next. The connection is approaching a turning point. There will be a before and an after. Before the truth, there was confusion. After the truth, there will be a choice. You may choose to listen. You may choose to ask questions. You may choose to step back. You may choose to rebuild. Heaven will not remove your free will, but heaven is preparing you so that you do not make the decision from fear, anger, or desperation. My beloved child, you have spent too long wondering whether you mattered. You did. You have spent too long interpreting silence as rejection. It was more complicated than rejection. You have spent too long believing you were the only one affected by this connection. You were not. Your soulmate has carried you into rooms where you were not physically present. Your name has influenced private choices. Your absence has changed their mood. Your memory has interrupted plans they thought they wanted. They have tried to imagine a future without you. That future felt incomplete. They have tried to convince themselves that what they feel is temporary. The feeling remained. They have tried to bury the secret beneath routine. But routine could not silence it. Now, something extraordinary is happening. The secret is no longer only inside them. Circumstances are beginning to expose it. A plan may be changing. A commitment may be questioned. A family conversation may be opening. A truth that was once controlled may soon be revealed by events beyond their control. This is why urgency surrounds the message. Not panic. Urgency. There is a difference. You are not being told to fear what is coming. You are being told to prepare your heart for an honest conversation that may initially surprise you but ultimately free you from months, perhaps years, of confusion. There is one more layer heaven wants you to understand before this part ends. Your soulmate is not only afraid of telling you what happened. They are afraid of telling you why it happened. The reason reaches deeper than the event itself. The reason is connected to an old wound. Long before you entered their life, they learned to hide when emotions became intense. They learned to protect themselves through silence. They learned that revealing too much could lead to rejection, judgment, or loss of control. So when your connection became powerful, they repeated what they had always done. They concealed. They delayed. They created distance. But you were different from the people in their past. Your presence did not threaten them because you were unsafe. Your presence frightened them because you made real love feel possible. And real love required truth. That is the part they were not prepared for. They wanted the comfort of your connection without the vulnerability it demanded. They wanted to keep you close while hiding the parts of themselves they feared would make you leave. But love cannot deepen where truth is denied. Now they understand this. The secret has become a test of their maturity. Will they continue hiding and risk losing you? Or will they come forward and trust that honesty, even imperfect honesty, is the only path that offers hope? Heaven has been speaking to their conscience. Through sleepless nights. Through repeated signs. Through conversations that seemed accidental. Through memories of you arriving at unexpected moments. They have felt the same inner pull again and again, tell the truth. At first, they resisted. Then they negotiated. Then they promised themselves they would speak later. But later is becoming now. Stay with me, because the final revelation of this part is closer than you think. Your soulmate has already taken the first step. You may not see it yet, but they have begun changing something connected to the secret. They may have ended a conversation. They may have challenged a family expectation. They may have withdrawn from a plan. They may have admitted to someone that their heart belongs elsewhere. They may have finally spoken your name in a room where they once avoided it. Whatever the exact action, a shift has begun. And once that shift started, returning to the old silence became nearly impossible. They are moving toward a moment of disclosure. But there is a complication. Someone does not want the truth to reach you yet. This person may believe they are protecting your soulmate. They may fear what will happen if you learn everything. They may have personal reasons for wanting the current situation to remain unchanged. Your soulmate is now caught between the pressure to remain silent and the growing need to come clean. This tension is building quickly. And there was a conversation very recently in which your name was mentioned directly. The room changed when your name was spoken. Your soulmate stopped pretending. For a few seconds, their true feelings became visible. Someone noticed. A question followed. And the answer your soulmate gave was not what anyone expected. They admitted that the secret could no longer remain hidden. They said that you deserved to know. But then another person revealed one final detail, a detail your soulmate had not known before, a detail so directly connected to you that it changed the entire meaning of the secret. And when your soulmate heard it, they went completely silent. Because in that moment, they realized that what they were about to confess was only half of the truth. The other half was already moving toward you.